morning. I'm Fanta Seka, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Admin and Finance, Ministry of Health. And once again, thank you very much, all of you, for honoring our invitation. We're expecting more senior officers to come and join us. However, because of the rain, it's a bit tricky. And we have all those who matter on table. Because from the onset, we have been working with partners. And everyone is fully involved and fully informed of what has been going on, to the evaluations, to the contract drafting and contract negotiation, and the final negotiations that we had yesterday, which is very important for us. And the CEO has been saying, when am I having my decoupling? Because there are quite a number of Gambians in country that need registration, and our CRVS back registration system doesn't register non-Gambians. But with this system, we'll be able to register non-Gambians and get their biodata and produce NHIA cards for them. This is for Ministry of Health. Other partners are also here, the police are here, licensing, immigration are here for the ID cards. Whatever questions they will have during the presentation, they can also ask, so they can have an insight into the building. Actually, this particular project is an additional financing from the World Bank. Right, and the additional financing came at a time when the Security Council tasked the Ministry of Health and partners of the Ministry of Communication to set up a committee and come with a speed to ensure that we have a system that will be able to provide the necessary documentation for the Gambian population, since we have challenges having driver's license and ID card.
I think I will start by thanking her very, very much. You know, as a permanent secretary, sometimes you are subjected to giving speeches as a protocol. Definitely, she's behind the whole thing and she knows the nitty-gritties of it. But allow me first and foremost express my profound gratitude and welcoming you to the Gambia. And starting with the permanent secretary, my colleague from Interior, and the commissioners of police, CEO National Health Insurance, and PCU, and all of the protocols respectful and duly observed. I'm delighted because this project is very important. You know, the DPS has just outlined some of the importance attached, especially by the Security Council. Because a lot of things in this country hinges on the success of this project, not only in terms of content, but also in terms of level, in terms of procedure. And that is why this demo and the presentation is very, very important. You know, identification. Without identity, you are nothing. And today in the world, there are many people who suffer from statelessness. People who doesn't have identity, who doesn't belong, definitely they are stateless. And people who doesn't have birth certificate, people who doesn't have identity, ID card, they are suffering from identity crisis. So I think this is going to solve a lot of problems, and that is part of the importance. And the second thing is that it's multi-sectorial. When you look at here around the table, we have very powerful delegation from Interior, from Immigration, from the police, from the Ministry of Health and National Health Insurance, and so then it's about this country. And I believe that if it succeeds, not only in terms of content, but also in terms of what we said yesterday about the security, about the accessibility, then it will solve a lot of problems for this country. So that is why we invite you, and we hope that the presentation today will, give us time also for question and answers in terms of many issues that were raised yesterday. So with that, I would like to thank you, I welcome you, and hope that we'll have a very fruitful discussion today. And I think this is where I stop. Thank you very much.
Okay, first, the health system, we use our NIN number, the NIN number on the ID card for somebody to be able to have a user account. So that NIN number is going to be a username, because NIN number is unique for every individual. And that NIN number is not given to anybody except you as one individual. So that NIN number, that's what we use for your user account. And you are given a default password on the onset, the starting of your registration. after you change that default password to your own password. Why we do this? Because the system, it has a data of the population. And we don't give user account to somebody whom we don't know and whom we cannot identify. So based on to identify you as an individual, you own that user account. Therefore, we use your NIN number and your own password so that we can able to track you whatever is done in the system.
So HSB Identification, we're a Dutch company based in the Netherlands, somewhere in the center, small capital or small city called Woerden. Difficult to pronounce, but some of you might be there to see it. But Woerden, we have our headquarters there with a lot of software engineers. And that software engineers are developing solutions to make unique IDs. I like the, what we just talked about the NIN number. Like in Morocco, we also have what we call our BSN, our own NIN number in the Netherlands, from birth to death. But in addition to that, we need some other capabilities, which is called biometrics. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we say unique ID for all. That's one of our missions. And as has been said, the need for identity is everywhere. Not only at police, immigration or healthcare, but also at elections, for example. And making sure that during voter registration, but also during election day, you make sure that only a person can only vote once, yes, and that it's not mixed up with another identity. So identity fraud is something you want to prevent there. And secondly, a unique identity also gives you the opportunity to participate in social events or social programs. We will give you projects which we're currently running in Djibouti for a social register, social security program, which give benefits to, let's say, to the lower income people. And of course, identity is key if you want to make use of banking services, or if you want to have access to a bank, or if you want to gain a bank account. So SIM cards also somewhere where they want to know your identity. But in general, I think it has been said at the beginning, all over the world there are billions of people with no unique identity at the moment. The United Nations estimating it at least over 1 billion, but it starts, of course, to create with a legal identity. Well, that's something which eCRVS is doing, creating birth certificates and legal documents to give you a kind of identity, which is also stated in the Social Development Goals of the United Nations, as you might know.
Thank you very much. So, as said by Marcel, I mean, I'm originally from Morocco. I'm an African. I know the context in Africa. Very proud to work on such projects. I will give you just an idea about the kind of projects we are running in Africa. First of all, before even I can start talking about this, we very often hear about financial inclusion in Africa. Everyone is talking about financial inclusion. I just want to say that we are in social inclusion, because we need to introduce you, and we need that the government knows you before he can help you financially. So we do the social inclusion before the financial inclusion. And what kind of challenges we are facing in Africa? First of all, identity of people. So the government, as I said, he would like to help you, but he doesn't know you. The second thing, traceability, frauds. Right. So that's what you will see through this couple of projects over here. For instance, in Burkina Faso, we have done a project with the civil servant registrations. Should I talk to you about the ghost workers within the government? So we all know that a couple of people that are having salaries, they live in the US, they live in the UK, they live in Canada. They are very rich over there, but they are getting their salaries here in Africa. So this is exactly one of the challenges. So we go over there and then we use biometrics, because it's biometrics what make you unique. So very briefly, there is a campaign to say, if you work for the government, please, you need to present yourself in such an office so we can take your biometrics. First surprise, couple of thousand never show up, because part of them are already passed away and others are living in other countries. So that's the first thing. So you have a big percentage of this population or these workers didn't show up. So that means the government at least is gaining or getting back the money that he was spending for a couple of years. And then what is better than linking it with the human resource solution? Because we have very smart people in Africa. They come from the UK and Canada. They register themselves because someone has told them, and they go back to the country where they are living, and they wanted to make sure. No, we found the solution. We link it to human resources solutions. So then after there is a report saying, hey, be careful. This lady or this guy, they came, they registered themselves, but they don't show up actually when we're working on the daily basis. In Ghana, we have done performance, and I want you also just to go just on YouTube and just to type HSB identification. We have registered 14 million people in 40 days. 14 million people by their biometrics in 40 days, because we've been called by the Electoral Commission over there. They were really in trouble because they had some issues with another company, and we have replaced them. But I should say something. You know, the harbor of Rotterdam is the biggest harbor in Europe. Should I tell you about the capabilities of the Dutch people in logistics? They are extremely strong in logistics. So they can just take the country, share it, and make the calculations and said, okay, this is how we can do it in this period. So it's very interesting to see that experience, that it exists now. It's 5 minutes just in YouTube. You can see what we have done. And since we have done a beautiful job, they have called us after for the municipality election and presidential and parliamentary. And as I'm talking to you right now, and Marcel will show you, we are producing almost 20 million cards per year, like with the health services over there. And I will leave Marcel to talk about that particular experience. Same thing for a civil servant in registrations. And this is the example I was given in Ghana National Health Insurances. Last elections in Chad. We are the company who has done the last elections. But when I say we have done, we have registered 7 million people based on their biometrics, because we wanted just to make sure, or not us, but the Electoral Commission and the country wanted to make sure that the day of the elections, the voter is unique. So we captured their biometrics. We put it, of course, in the card. They come to the electoral, let's say, office. They need to put their card and their fingerprint. Okay, we're talking to the right person. You can vote now. So this is how we make sure that every single one is unique and every voter is unique.
What we are seeing here is the start of the let me say of the application for the demo. So an operator is logging in, and we have prepared it. So we are logging in, and this is a simple view of the system. In the final system, you will have more tiles. Every tile has a certain functionality behind it. And you are seeing here enroll and identify, print the card, reports, and about, which is giving information of the system itself. So I prepared some scenarios to show on itself. So you must think that I'm a kind of super user now, because I can be a policeman, I can be somebody from the immigration, and I can somebody from the Ministry of Health. So we will start with an enrollment, and you are seeing three tiles again. So one is to taking an image, a photo from the person, taking a fingerprint, and maybe this is also helping when people, because you will have also the possibility when people has already a NIN number and there is no image, to add the image to the file within all the 3D agencies on itself. Personal data and the fingerprints. We start with the fingerprints. Here you are seeing some common things. So the fields with the asterisks, that are the fields which are already filled when we are getting a NIN number from the eCRVS, or that we are asking for a NIN number to create for non-Gambian on this one. So what I will do in this case, I will put a fake name in. So for all the cards, also for the driver's license, when you have the body, so the body card, I know from the national ID card, it's also a blank card, so that it will get a whole process on itself. And also the chip has to be encoded on that one. The driver's license and the national, let me say the national health card is only a plastic card, so we are only using a barcode information on it. Yeah, barcode for verification on that. And then we are filling the fields, so we are using the coordinates of the body card where we have to put in the fields. And what you're seeing is also that there are more fields on the card itself, like expiry date of issue, that are created by the system. If you're seeing my card, it is now issued today. So on today. So it is using the date of the system itself. So of the let me say of the operator workstation on that one. What we can do also from this one, we can create, let's say, for the national health card, we have also needed the height. So I'm 183. I think also the occupation was mentioned. I'm not sure. Also the address for the national ID.
No,
We need the address. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So we are using it, and we will save this data. And again, this data will be only shown to the operator when he is doing the national ID card. So he is only getting that fields to fill in. And when you are going for the driver's license, you are also getting the fields of the driver's license. Only the driver's license on that. And we will not forget the driver's license. So let's say I'm still a learner. I'm not sure what, because we saw some type of drivers on the driver's license. Maybe there is a kind of category of driver's license which we can have also to add to the field, to add to have an on itself. Let's say I got my driver's license last week on the 8th.
So for the driver license, we need more information to add on the category or whatever, I guess. So that's what we just did. Now you print the drive license.
Yeah, now we are printing the driver's license. And again, I'm now a super user, so I can do all three.
I think we should hire him.
Okay. Then we are going to the identification process. We could not find the NIN number for Marcel, but we can do it on a different way. So will use his fingerprints. So for that we only have to scan
Right hand.
his right hand. And I will do first an identify only on his fingerprints.
Okay.
That's okay. So what you can see, it hits one candidate with a very high result. We explain the result. The figures, the 720 on the 24 is giving a very high result on the match of his. Here.
That's me.
Yeah, and here we have also his NIN number. So even if there is a person which is not knowing his NIN number, or in the process he is not mentioning his NIN number, it can find back in the system based on the biometrics, when the biometrics are there. So we have this. Yeah. And the other thing that was, which is we can do by print a card. I have a NIN number. I will put it in 3008. 24 12 05 74. Do a search. This is an existing NIN number which is also in the eCRVS. We can check it. And you see with this person there is no image. There is no photo in the system. As we have received the information from the eCRVS. And the operator can here add also a photo and the fingerprints to that person, to that NIN number. So if the other agencies needed the photo or to have a check if is this the same person, this can be added in this process as well. From reports I can show you something about the details. So for an administrator can be interested, what is the daily workload, what has the system been done, all this kind of information will be coming out of the system. So, yeah, so far the demonstration.
Thank you very much so far, but you might understand that there might be some more questions regarding the cards, regarding the procedure, regarding what finally will be delivered. But we're happy to receive questions now, if there are any.
Yeah, I just want to ask, maybe after integration, whether there would be any operational business process to have a clear cut of these sectors, what is their main function. Because like if you look at this system, you can input, like you can enter or you can register individuals. So I think if eCRVS is going to be the main system for the primary registry entry point, I think there shouldn't be access to enter individuals, at ID card or at any point. So like what Lamin Jaju was presenting, whether we'll have a smart search or normal search, like at this point, the system would only allow you to search if you are registered in the eCRVS. If you are not registered, then you will be referred to eCRVS for you to be registered. So that when it gets to this point, your NIN will only be used to retrieve your data from the eCRVS. If that is going to be done, that's fine. If not, then I'm asking whether if entries are done here, whether this data will also push the data in this system to the eCRVS, so that like we'll have all citizens or all interested people to have ID cards also captured in the eCRVS, so that we have both systems able to capture. Yes.
That's the key idea. That's the key idea. So you will have the identity register. So you will have eCRVS register, the database with the data which are there, and you have also the identity register. So I'm not sure if in the eCRVS, for instance, also the national ID card number is also in that system. Maybe not, maybe it is. Otherwise, it will be in the identity register based on his name. And there are all kinds of security rules on it. Also, the databases are encrypted, also for backup and all that kind of things. So there will be a kind of synchronization. We also synchronizing, so because in our system, biographic data and biometric data are separated from each other, and the unique ID in this is the what we are calling the bio ID of the system. So that is connecting the biographic information to the biometric information based on privacy rules for that. So that is also what the intention is, to do that with eCRVS and with the other registers, which can be accessed from the other agencies as well. Is that clear? No.
Thank you for the presentation. As we are talking of integration of systems, I see that at the moment, we are limited to ID cards and driver's license. But would there be any window to be open to Gambians once you're normal, and then there's interest for us to incorporate independent electoral commission in the system for them to be captured? Similarly, for the social registry, for them to be captured in the system. The other point, we're saying that we have the parastatals for pension scheme to be captured, like, for example, in the social security, for them to be captured in this system, so that we not limit ourselves as a country to only these parameters that we have in here. But there should be a window within when our IT guys can build this system, so that the incorporation can be inclusive. Thank you.
So you are getting an open portal, which can be also, and let me say the portal is open also for other EID or ID cards to add to the to the personal data. So even a student card can be done on the system. So also, if you are looking to the let me say to the printer service itself, it is a national printer service. So you can also add other cards as well to it to define it. So based on the workflow process which is in the system.
If you allow me, I want just to add two things, because technology is improving, and today we're talking also about the mobile and all this kind of technology that can be merged with such solutions. So the idea is to work as a partner with you guys, so we can always share the best practices with you, and depending on the timing, we are capable to add other technologies depending on the need. That's the first thing. The second thing, we spent the week over here, we noticed something about this huge generation, very talented, those IT people that you have here in the country. So I want just to tell you that as a partner, we are also aiming to transfer the competences locally. We do everything we can that every single one who's working in this project, and especially the IT people, know exactly what we're talking about. So it will be training, will be certification, will be exams to be done to make sure that these youth people and those talented people over here can really understand the technology they are working on. Because being around Africa, and after even several years, I can see in other countries that youth people today are capable to work in biometrics. They have created their own companies. They base it on the knowledge that we have transferred to this youth IT people. They are really capable to do by themselves this technology and work in biometrics in every single country. That's what I wanted to add. Thank you very much.
Any other questions around the table? Yes, sorry.
Yes, I will want to know the flow of how people registered and this platform will get to the eCRVS. Since the eCRVS won't be registering non-Gambians, they will be registered elsewhere. And we want to know the flow. How do the eCRVS get the information of these people to our system and generate the NIN?
More or less, there are two flows, officially. So one flow is for the Gambian when he is getting his first NIN number. That is done by the eCRVS. It's not done in this system. For the non-Gambians, we are adding the data which is needed for the eCRVS, and we are using the interface between eCRVS and the ID register to get the NIN number. So the NIN number is created in the eCRVS. We are sending the data fields to the eCRVS. They are uploading that data to that NIN number, so that the person is also registered in the eCRVS. And that can be done for all the agencies. So also the police can also ask for, if the NIN number is not known or is a non-Gambian and needs a NIN number, he can also request the NIN number in this case. So based that he can get access to enroll a new person. But all the, let me say, the standard data is shared between the eCRVS and the register system. So by interfacing. Yeah. Sasha can also add to that.
Yeah, so I'm from WCC for eCRVS system. So basically, in this case where non-Gambians are being created, from HSB system, the data fields like the name and the date of birth will be pushed to the eCRVS, and in eCRVS we are going to have this data and generate NIN based on this information. So we are going to use the standard protocol, and this profile will be already existing in eCRVS. We are just going to send back the NIN number so it can be used later on.
When Lamin was presenting, you all could see that currently in our eCRVS system, we have the list of all the communities in the Gambia in the CRVS system, where you just need to select from the system. I think this is important because it helps us have a unified way of spelling communities differently. But now that this system will be registering non-Gambians, and I hope they will be capturing their places of residence in the Gambia here. How do we have that synchronized with the eCRVS too?
That's again part of the specifications, but indeed it's part of the specifications. Indeed, it's a good remark that we should mention that we use the same locations as has been used in eCRVS in this system, and not different.
Same fields. So
Yeah, sorry, my friend.
There's a question there. Musa, you can start.
Musa.
Musa. Now they have the recording.
I think this is very important. If you look at, I think when we are doing the requirement setting of for each of these departments, I think all of this should come clearly in our SOPs, so that we can able to avoid an instant where we will develop and later we'll have a changeover of requirements. So I think this is very important, because if you look at the eCRVS, the data we have, for example, the facial image, which is not a very much important variable in our birth registration register, but maybe for immigration is a very important component. So maybe those information can be loaded each of the patient for participant, and it can be updated so that at least we can able to have a correct facial image in our database. So at least components that are not that are added can be added to the field. So, but if you look at the non-Gambians that maybe they will register it, and we don't need those information in our eCRVS, those ones can store in a different location. But for nationals, I think we should generate that information from the eCRVS and do our updates and get back to our system, so that we can able to have updates on each of those individuals as we are going along. But I'd see some of these things should come clearly in our requirement gathering, so that at least we can have a system that definitely will not go up to a point we are going to change all the requirements again. Thank you.
I think the last part is very important. Once you have a job to do, then do it correctly. If you do it incorrectly, then you come back and correct yourself. Go the system, make sure now that the specification that they need from us well done. Thank you very much. Yes, there is a question there.
Regarding to the point you just because the facial images from the eCRVS and maybe the facial image from the immigration will be a bit different, because the immigration will need the iris component of it. But for ours, it's just the facial image, normal facial image that we're taking. So some fields could be editable, do you understand, at the immigration end if it reaches them, like the facial image, so that they can take a new facial image at the end that will include the iris and other biometric information. Because what we have in our system is just normal photo and does not take the iris or other thing.
I can say something about it. So, because we also talked it over the UCC. So, in the interface message for the data fields, we also when the photo is available, we also get the photo. And then the photo we can check. You will see the quality tool, which we are using also for the live. We can also use the quality tool for that photo. So if it is a high resolution, the resolution is good enough, if the eyes are seen and that kind of things. So if it is below the quality, then we can make a new photo, and then it will be also coming available for the driver's license and also for the other agencies.
Yes, there's a hand there.
Yeah.
Yes. I just want to add. I just want to add. The eCRVS for birth certificate need the facial image. The facial image is in the system. It was meant for health insurance card. So as far as now, this system is going to print the health insurance card with a photo on it. I don't think now we need the facial image on the eCRVS system. Yeah.
The final design we can.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, let me come. You see, look, we should not contradict one another. A system developer is just like a tailor, and a tailor is waiting for you to tell him or her what type of thing you want, and you have to know what you want. Otherwise, then if you don't know what you want, it's going to be very difficult for the system to develop what you want. So I think that we have to make up our mind, depending on the sector. What exactly do you want, to make sure now that the system tailor it for you? You understand my point? It's very, very important. That's very important. Yes.
Also, maybe to add the manual of procedures.
Yeah, the manual of yes.
You will be choosing exactly what would the workflow and how it works.
Yes.
It shouldn't just stay in a place. It should be written on the paper. This is our manual of procedure. So every single one coming to work, this is how we do things. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Not just to tell him how to do it. It should be on the manual of procedure. Immigration should have their manual of procedure. Minister of Health, manual of procedure. So every single entity or organization should have their own manual of procedure.
That's why I believe that every sector must choose the best of the best for their own, for that sector, to make sure now that when we have our specification, we have them correctly. Otherwise, if you don't give a real specification based on what you want, it's going to be very difficult to correct it tomorrow. Yes, thank you. Any other question?
No questions anymore?
DPS?
Yes,
What is the next?
coming up to the end of the demo, we've got the equipment downstairs. Immigration have sent us the distribution list we have received from immigration. The tagging is in progress. Hopefully next week Friday we're done with the tracking and we will call you for pickup. Right now some of the equipment are downstairs on display, so we're going to have a photo shoot and then go for lunch. Thank you very much for coming, and we are grateful that you are able to join us and strengthen this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Marcel Bogaert, CEO of HSB Identification. I'm happy to be here in the Gambia for the launch of the eCRVS integration software project. This is a project which is very important to us, but especially for the Gambia, to make a unified ID and to be able to finally print ID cards, driver licenses and health ID cards. In addition to what you get, the national identification number, also make it unique through the use of biometrics, fingerprints and facial technologies. So what our company will be doing in this part is we develop a system, a software system, which will be linked to the eCRVS system, the system which is used for birth registration and all kind of live events. And in addition to that, we will add a system which will store all biometrics, which means fingerprints and faces, which will secondly connect to the eCRVS to retrieve the NIN number, and on the third place be able to print 3 types of cards: the driver license, the ID card, and the health ID card. And in the future, much more. So it's a complete software solution. Okay, so we have to start working quite fast because we're in a hurry, or we're not in a hurry. I think the country is in a need for this system. So we are driven by the fact that Gambia is asking very fast for a solution, and we're trying to help it. So what we will do, we'll start with specification phase, and then soon we'll also deliver the first components afterwards. So again, we're very happy to be here and to help the Gambia with a unique solution which helps to prevent identity fraud, but also help people to get a unique ID for all kind of social protection programs, for example. And that's what I hope. I hope that it will be a good collaboration with all parties involved.
My name's Abubakar DM Jiwa, the Principal Personnel Officer, Civil Service Reform and Planning Unit of the Ministry of Public Service, Administrative Reforms, Policy Coordination and Delivery. This is a ministry established sometimes in 2022 to oversee the public service delivery coordination for effective delivery to the public. So my representation on behalf of the Permanent Secretary here and the Honorable Minister of the Ministry, particularly the Director of Reform, is to ensure that our reform programs as this integration of eCRVS system with other systems of Ministry of Immigration, Ministry of Interior, particularly Immigration Department is enhanced, because we know globalization goes with innovations. And what we believe in the reform is to ensure public service is delivered with easy and accessible manner.
My name is Sana Jallo. I'm the head of ICT, Ministry of Justice. And it has been a great initiative, and we have been working on this a while ago. And I have gained a lot through this today on this initiative, which I believe it will not only benefit the Ministry of Health, as we are all stakeholders, like the Ministry of Interior, Immigration Department, likewise our own ministry, the Ministry of Justice, which stakeholders, we are all invited, and they all want all of us to take part. And the main key factor that the Ministry of Justice is looking into this is marriage and divorce. And I believe more ahead that they are we are also trying to see how best death certificate can be introduced, integrated into the system, and likewise criminal database system as well. And I would like to thank the Ministry of Health for sending us the invitation, inviting us into this. And I would like also to thank the World Bank and all other partners, likewise the government of the Gambia. And on that note, I would like to make a conclusion remark here. Thank you.
I think today's event is very important. As you all aware of, Minister of Health have successfully implemented the eCRVS, that is the civil and birth registration system, which is already ongoing, and we are already printing our birth certificates and the insurance card in the same system. So now in today's event, we want to extend the same system to able to print our health insurance card, our ID card, and our driving license, so that we can able to have a unique identifier for an individual from birth to death. So meaning the NIN number you acquire from birth is the same NIN you are continue with your health insurance card, your ID card, and your driver's license. So that's why today's event is very important. which we also want to thank World Bank for procuring of a very sensitive and very quality material for this exercise. Because even the consultants themselves attest to that the equipment we have as in